Ahoy! And welcome to the Boating Hour with Captain Rick. The Boating Hour brings you the latest and greatest essential information about everything that sails, floats, or motors upon the high seas of Southern California. From landlubbers to old salts, there'll be something for everyone. So climb aboard and get ready to sail with Captain Rick.
Ahoy out there, and welcome to the Boating Hour. I'm Captain Rick, and I want to thank you for joining us here on AM 870. We're here every Saturday at 4 p.m., and please be sure to visit us on the web at theboatinghour.com. And now all over social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Make sure you check us out and give us a like. Thanks to our sponsor for our show today. For a healthy gut, the best probiotic on the market, Livia One Probiotics, natural, organic, and allergen-free. Well, today I got a treat for you. I've got someone from the Sea Scouts on. John, welcome to the Boating Hour with Captain Rick.
Thanks. Great to be here. Thank you for having us.
You know, it's really exciting. I was in the Scouts, of course. I eagled out in my teen years, and I went over to Sea Scouts. I had some real good experiences, started going over to Catalina. Of course, then I got into a little bit of trouble, and I never went right through it. So I remember the Sea Scouts. A lot of my friends were part of it. You guys got a boat and marina. There's so many people active. But tell me about the Sea Scouts. Let's find out, how do kids get into it, and what is it that they do, and then what's awaiting for them when they go through the program.
Of course. Well, first of all, a couple of things. Just want to make one clarification. A lot of people confuse us with the Sea Cadets. Sea Scouts and Sea Cadets are two completely different organizations, and they basically have two different goals. They're both fine, don't get me wrong, but so you know, the Sea Cadets are sponsored by U.S. Navy.
Right.
And they do relatively less time on the water. In fact, I was looking at I'm not that familiar with the Sea Cadet program, but for I've known some Sea Cadets. They mainly do drill, and they mainly train for the military. And if they get on the water at all, it might be once in a while. And then they do things like physical fitness and exams. Whereas the Sea Scouts, the Sea Cadets are part of the U.S. Navy. Sea Scouts are part of Scouting BSA, also known as the Boy Scouts of America. And Sea Scouts, basically, it's the purpose of the Sea Scout program is to train young people for citizenship, for leadership through the use of boating activities. We do activities on the water, above the water, and below the water. And Sea Scouts is for young men and women aged 13 to 21 years old. So there are a number of Sea Scout ships throughout all of Southern California and also throughout the nation as well. To join Sea Scouts, you can go to your local Boy Scout council and find out about a Sea Scout ship in your area. Or if you happen to know of a Sea Scout ship, you can go to one of their meetings and talk to the leadership directly.
Well, John, let's back up a little bit. You said above and below the water. Are you guys teaching them diving and maintaining boats in the water as well?
It depends. Now, when I say on the water and below the water, not every Sea Scout ship emphasizes the same thing. For example, our ship, this is, actually we have two ships now, Sea Scout Ship 16, which is for the boys, and Sea Scout Ship 25, which is for the girls. They both meet in Marina del Rey. The boys on Tuesday night, the girls on Monday night. We are basically power boaters. We have a number of boats, both large and small, and we go motoring. We often go to Catalina and to other places like San Pedro and Oxnard. Whereas other Sea Scout ships may emphasize sailing. I know of several ships up in the Bay Area in Northern California, and also an excellent one down here in Dana Point that emphasizes sailing. They have a number of different sailboats. Some Sea Scout ships do scuba training, or they emphasize scuba. We do not. We have some people that are scuba certified, but it's not through us. So that's what I mean. When we do our meetings, it's training to be on the water.
Yeah, tell me about the boat in Marina del Rey. So you've got Ship 16 and the Ship 25. Did I get you right?
That's correct. And by the way, when I say ship, I don't mean an actual boat that floats. Ship, like, for example, a Cub Scout pack, Cubs refer to those young kids, aged, 5 through 9, 10 years old. A Boy Scout, or Scouts, I should say, because boys and girls are in Scouts at all levels now. The members of that unit are called a troop.
The troop, sure.
So the members of our Sea Scout unit, we call that unit a ship.
Oh,
so when
I see.
So when I say Ship 16 or Ship 25, I'm not actually talking about a floating boat. I'm talking about the young men and women that are members of. So anyway, we have our set of boats. The Islander, that's Sea Scout Ship 16, and we have names as well to confuse you more, has a 63-foot boat called the Manta. And the Manta was a AVR. That is, it was built in 1944 as a search vehicle. If a pilot got shot down over the water, a boat like the Manta would come and pick them up. And the Manta originally, when it was built by the Navy, had 2 airplane engines which could go over 50 miles an hour. However, aviation fuel is rather expensive. Sure. So when at the end of the war, the Navy had over 1,500 of these boats, they sold them to the Scouts for $1 each.
Oh, my goodness. So, Where was I?
Yeah, really, exactly. I would have bought a dozen. So originally, the Manta was used as a supply boat to take stuff like ice cream and hot dogs and stuff over to Camp Emerald Bay. Oh. And during the course of its career from 1945 to 1976, it made over 1,500 trips. So in 1976, our Scout Council sold it. It went through 2 owners, and one of the owners put over $800,000 worth of restoration into it.
My goodness.
And it turned it into a dive boat. So the owner eventually gave it up. He became too old. He passed away a few years after he gave it back to us, but he gave it back to us, and we have it to this day. And in fact, that you mention it to your listeners out there, if anyone, if the spirit moves them, our boat, the Manta, as I said, was built in 1944. It's 80 plus years old, and the bottom, the hull, is due for refastening. So if anyone wishes to, we have a donation page, and your listeners are welcome to help us bear the cost to refasten the bottom, which, by the way, is not made of fiberglass, but made of triple plank mahogany.
Oh, my goodness. What's that? How do they get a hold? What's the website for both contributing and joining and finding out about the Sea Scouts?
For the Islander, it is for Sea Scout Ship 16. It is ship16.org. That's ship16.org. We have a new girl ship, Ship 25. They call themselves the Black Pearl, and we just started the girls Sea Scout ship. And again, young women aged 14 to 21, or 13 to 21, actually. We don't have a website up yet for them, but we will in the near future.
That's great. So I'm definitely going to put a link on my site, so ship16.org, so they can find out about helping, donating. Do you need volunteers as well?
Well, sometimes, especially if someone knows how to repair diesel engines, that would be helpful. Absolutely.
Wow, I had no idea this kind of stuff is going on. What a history to that ship. So give me an idea. Tell me more about what it looks like and where the boat is and the functions that you do. And, tell me about, the kids when they get together and what they're training for.
Oh, yeah. Well, like a scouting BSA troop or a Boy Scout troop, as commonly known, both our ships, Ship 25 and Ship 16, meet once a week. Again, the girls on Monday, the boys on Tuesday. They start with a meeting. And by the way, I just want to let everyone know that if you've ever been a part of scouting, when you're in the Cub Scouts, it's usually the adults who do all the stuff. They
Right.
put together the popsicle stick projects you do and all that. Well, in the Sea Scouts, we are a youth-led organization. So the youth leader is known as the bosun. That's sort of like the head youth leader, and he or she has assistants. The group is divided up into crews. So there's a port crew and a starboard crew. Well, we have to start we start our ship meeting by the crew meeting and decide what they'd like to do, what they want to accomplish. And especially because we have a competition coming up this weekend. I'm sorry. What we have? Whoops, sorry about that.
All my listeners know that I'm not a live show, and we're taping this well in advance. So actually,
okay,
yeah. So
sorry
we're
about that.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Everybody knows. It's funny. I do get people that email me periodically a couple things. I talk about my co-host, the Coast Guard teddy bear that protects children when they sleep at night. Well, a lot of people didn't know. I used to refer jokingly with my co-host. Well, he's a teddy bear. If you look at the picture, you see me holding a teddy bear that's dressed up like a Coastie. He's got the Coastie logo on it. Yeah, it's a real popular thing. And then of course, I tape stuff well in advance. So we are taping this, and then as a matter of fact, I'm trying to take Christmas and New Year's off. I'll be taping those shows well in advance. We'll be doing our Christmas show. Will be with Bart Hall. So Bart Hall is, he is an amazing guy. It used to be, took over from his father, started this after the war in the late 40s as a camping outdoor show. And I will be there. I'll be at the Bart Hall show in Long Beach in January, dressed as a Coastie. I'll be in the Coast Guard booth. Maybe next year there'll be a Captain Rick booth, but we don't do live shows, not yet. But we're planning on it. We've got some real, I'd like to do that with the Scouts. I'd like to come out there on one of your events, do a live show, let the kids come on, let some of the, the adult leaders, come on and talk about it and recruit, youngsters to come out. And, it's great because I know they overlap a little bit, but, Eagles, you're 14, 15, 16, right? Isn't that the age of an Eagle? Can't remember what I was when I was Eagle. I think I was 15 or 16. But this goes to 21,
possible,
right?
It's possible to get Eagle Scout when you're 12 years old, believe it or not.
No kidding.
Not many people do it, but, it takes an intense amount of work. And I know Scout leaders out there that don't think it's a good idea, but conceivably, you could become Eagle when you're 12 or 13 years old. In the Boy Scouts or Scouting BSA, I'll be consistent. I'll just refer to it as Boy Scouts. And again, Sea Scouting's part of the Boy Scouts as well. In the Boy Scouts, you can be in a Boy Scout troop Eagle until you're 18 years old. And by the way, a lot of people don't know this, but if a person that's in a Scout troop wants to join a Sea Scout ship, they can do both. In fact, several of our guys are still active with their Boy Scout troop as well as active with our Sea Scout ship. And they can still get Eagle Scout till 18. The Sea Scouts, however, offer a second Eagle Scout. And by the way, no, you do not have to have any scouting experience whatsoever in order to be a member of the Sea Scouts. The second Eagle Scout I'm referring to is called Quartermaster. And you can earn Quartermaster anywhere from 14 up to 21 years of age. So with a Quartermaster, again, like Boy Scouts, there are different ranks. You have certain things that you have to display certain knowledge, what knots to tie, where to find the fire extinguishers on board your vessel, how to differentiate between a Type 1 and Type 4 PFD, life jacket, those sorts of things. So we do offer advancement. And also it's part of the training as well. When you get on a boat, a newcomer will say, well, there's a front of the boat and there's a back, rather than the bow and the stern.
Right.
So, you learn things like that. And in addition, getting back to our program, our guys go out and they take the boats and go boating. Our guys learn how to use a radar, how to use a VHF radio, how to maintain a lookout, how to monitor an engine, and of course, how to pilot the boat and how to chart and navigate. They learn all those things by doing.
And do you guys go to take trips out to Channel Islands or Catalina?
Yes. We've been both to the front and back side of Catalina Island. In fact, I might say one of the most beautiful spots I've ever seen is on the backside of Catalina Island at Little Harbor. We've also taken her down, the Amanda down to San Pedro. We've also taken her out to Santa Barbara Island, which, is 31 miles due, I think it's due west of Catalina. And that was a lovely trip as well. Some of our guys who were scuba certified went diving out there. And I believe that place is so seldom visited that some sea lions actually came up to our divers, not knowing who they were. So it was really cool. And the other thing is we have kayaks. So Santa Barbara Island is so small you can kayak around the entire island in about 1 hour.
Right. I've had our fish report from Captain Dave has talked a lot about the backside of Catalina and one of the most prestigious diving places. And I've also talked about Catalina Water Company supplies salt water to the fish aquarium shops. So if you're getting pre-mixed, if you're getting actual ocean water, it's coming from Catalina Water. They're the dredging ship behind Catalina. That's where you get people that have saltwater aquariums in all the shops. It's kind of amazing. I inquired about that, but I love the backside of Catalina. At Cat Harbor, Delray Yacht Club, and I had Dave Ross on, who is part of Delray Yacht Club, and he's the president of the Holiday Parade, which just happened last week as you're listening to the show, right? So, he was on, and, he's a skipper and a captain, and they have a wonderful place. It's absolutely amazing to go to. All right, let's get back to Scouts. So you can go through the Scouts, or you can start with the Sea Scouts, right? So you can do either.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's how I got, kind of reunited after a couple decades. I met Jackson, who was an Eagle.
Yeah.
At the Fleet Week at the Battleship Iowa in May, and he was, dressed so nice. We were sitting at the Coast Guard Auxiliary booth and the Coast Guard booth, and of course it's a recruitment booth at that point. And we were talking about how not enough young kids are involved, and there was some, young kids, some troublemakers running around. And here we see this well-dressed, well-manicured, good-looking scout escorting, I believe it was a California State Assembly person. So, and I forgot who it was, but he was escorting her, and that was one of his duties. And he invited me. She got a round of applause, and she said all kinds of great things about the Iowa, the battleship, the Navy ship. And then I talked to him, and he was an Eagle, and he was escorting her. And then he invited me to the function that you guys had. It's up on my website, the Rick Horner photography site. So that was at California Yacht Club. What was that I went to that took pictures of?
That's called a Bridge of Honor. In the Boy Scout terms, basically it's an award ceremony. And for listeners who are familiar, the highest award you could get or rank you could get in Boy Scouts is Eagle Scout, and they have what's called a Court of Honor, and that's where the young man or young woman is formally awarded. So we had the same thing. The Sea Scout equivalent is called the Bridge of Honor. That was at California Yacht Club, I believe, back in May. And in fact, two of our young people, Spencer and Kai, they both were Eagle Scouts from their respective troops, and they both were awarded quartermaster. And again, quartermaster is something that's, let's put it this way. About 2% of all Boy Scouts get Eagle Scout. Only 1% of all Eagle Scouts get quartermaster.
Oh.
So it's the rarest of the rare. And we had two of them. One of the things that they had to do to earn their quartermaster rank was on their own with adults present, but they had to organize and run through their own cruise using one of the boats. They had to plan everything. Who was going to be piloting, who was going to be navigating, how much food, where people were going to stay, every detail, and they did it themselves. Again, there were adults, that is, someone over 21 there, just to be present. I was one of the people that was present, and basically I really didn't have to lift a finger. Kai and Spencer did it all.
Let's try to get them on the show. I'd love to have Kai and Spencer to talk about what they went through, the trials and tribulations, the friendships that they made, the plans they have for the future. I'd absolutely love to have them. It'd be
a little bit difficult for Kai. Kai is right now attending University of Hawaii.
Oh,
and he's majoring in marine biology.
Oh, that's fantastic. Let's talk about the holiday parade as the show airs, which already happened. We're taping this in advance. So let's talk about the role that you guys have in the holiday boat parade, which as this airs already happened.
Yes. And if you're hearing this before the boat parade, try and get down there as early as possible because the marina gets really clogged with traffic the later you wait. The holiday boat parade, imagine if during Christmas, you go along one of these streets that has all the houses decorated with a gazillion Christmas lights. Well, the boat parade's the same thing, except instead of you coming to the houses come to you. People take their boats and they put lights on them. Some people spend thousands of dollars, although if you're entering the boat parade, you don't have to spend nearly that much. And they dress their boats in lights. Some people with larger yachts, they have live music like live bands. And it's really an incredibly fun evening. Well, the Sea Scouts are an important part because we are the boundaries. One of our boats is at the north end of the harbor, and our other boat, we have a couple of larger boats, is at the south end. We anchor at the north and south end of the harbor, and we have big signs on our boats that say stake boat. Now, stake as in S-T-A-K-E, as an intense steak, not the steak you eat. And ideally, the boaters are supposed to go inside the boundaries. So when they see the stake boat, and you boaters out there in the parade, please make sure you understand this. Do not go behind the stake boats, go in front of them.
So
we are basically the north and south boundaries of the boat parade.
God, that's so exciting. We barely scratched the surface. I want to plug again the site, ship16.com. And I would, we barely scratched the surface, John. I'd like to have you on again. I'd like to invite, Spencer and Kai. We do this by phone to talk about what they did and talk more about the Sea Scouts. So I want to invite you back, and I really appreciate you coming on.
Well, thank you, Captain Rick. I appreciate you having us. And once again, a great program. I was one of those that was never a scout myself. I started as an adult, and it's been fantastic. And I don't want to speak for the guys, but a number of the guys have gone through the ship. They've developed lifelong friendships. They're friends even to this day, even though they started a decade ago.
That is fantastic. One of the great institutions of America, Sea Scouts, and of course, Scouting USA. I guess you call it Scouting BSA, right? For Boy
That's
Scouts
correct.
of America.
Scouting BSA, yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Again, ship16.com. I want to talk to you about doing a live show sometime next year and invite you back. So this has been wonderful. Well, that's all the time that we have for you today. I hope you enjoyed our show. As always, we're so very fortunate to have such wonderful and exciting guests. And let's not forget the Coasties, protecting our waters, America's lifesavers and guardians of the sea. Remember, if you do it right and follow all the safety precautions, there's no place like being out in the water in the fresh air and sunshine in beautiful, sunny Southern California. Here at the Boating Hour with Captain Rick, we cover everything that sails, motors, and floats from San Diego to Santa Barbara. Thanks for being with us today, and I thank our guest John from Sea Scouts for coming on. And please be sure to join us next week and every Saturday at 4 p.m. on AM 870. These shows are taped, but coming up, some exciting stuff next year. We'll be doing some on-location taped shows. We'll be at a couple of events, and we're going to talk about doing some live shows where you can call in and stop by. So thanks to our sponsor for our show today. For a healthy gut, Livia One Probiotics. Don't forget to visit us on the web at theboatinghour.com and now all over social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble, The Boating Hour with Captain Rick. Keep your emails coming. This is Captain Rick saying ahoy and fair winds to all. Happy holidays. Thanks for joining us.